So this week we're going to analyze Gowon's One and Only MV. I feel like this one is one of the most difficult MVs to decipher since it has a lot of symbolism in it, and instead of showing you what is going on, they just kind of hint at things. So yeah, the MV starts up with the YY by Y logo animation. This time the moon is in Eden green, which makes Gowon the only member that has a color assigned to her that is called Eden and then the color. This to me is really suspicious, since this could imply that this color was created by Eden, and maybe Gowon was created by Eden as well. Like how Gowon's color is a mix of Jinsul and Hassel, and Hassel's color is a mix of Jinsul and Hyunjin, and Hyunjin is a mix of Kimlip and Hyunjin. Maybe the members being paired up also is significant to their overall powers, that only after they all come together their colors can mix and match and create new powers / colors. On the other hand, it could also imply that colors that are originally from Eden are altered from the colors that we see on Earth. Hassel has the color green assigned to her, but her green honestly looks a lot different than the Eden green. The Eden green has a lot more blue in it, making it like a mint green color. And yes, it does seem like it's the official name of Gowon's color, though I can't really find any official source for it. It is said by most online orbit communities, so I will just trust in them, I guess. So the MV has black borders that leave a lot of black space, making the MV look small, narrow, and constricted. It is intentionally making the MV look smaller to create a sense of claustrophobia for the viewer. We also see Gowon run away and standing on the chandeliers, which makes the MV feel tense and, well, claustrophobic. And to underline this feeling of dread, we get a lot of scenes with Gowon standing under chandeliers to make the chandeliers feel like a reference to the Damocles sword. So I will just quickly explain the Damocles sword. So there once was a king, and Damocles was like, "Hey, you are really fortunate to be a king. You have a great life." And the king offered Damocles to change places for him to sit on the throne. But over the throne there was hanging a sword that was only held up by a single hair of a horse's tail. This was supposed to show the standoffish Damocles how actually not great the life of a king is, who constantly lives in fear and in danger. This is why Damocles' sword is used as a metaphor even nowadays. It describes any situation threatening immediate harm or disaster. And to me, these scenes are supposed to show us that Gowon is in danger and is in constant fear of Eden, of her supposed friends, and of her unknown future. In a way, the chandeliers looking a bit like a crown underlines this even more. At the end of the MV, Gowon has a crown put on her head by Yves. This could be seen as a celebration, but to me it also inherently shows us that Gowon is putting herself in danger. That just like a king that has to constantly be scared of their enemies and constantly have to think about the future and create plans, Gowon now has made herself the enemy of Eden, and she has to plan out her escape of Eden because of the harm Eden could cause her. Yves does not only put a crown on her head, she is putting responsibilities on her and gives her a position of leadership. She needs Gowon to lead them out of Eden in a way. This also explains why Gowon spends half of the MV being scared of the members. She really doesn't want to have this position, she doesn't want to be the one deciding things, and she doesn't really want to be the figurehead of this operation. But still they make her do this, and the only reason why the Damocles sword isn't coming down on her is because she has hope. It is her assigned emotion after all. And it fits her assigned animal as well. The butterfly is associated with transformation, hope, and rebirth. Freedom, earthly beauty, and in Chinese as well as Irish culture, they are said to be a symbol for the soul. Also, I find it very interesting how Gowon is the only member that has an insect assigned as her assigned animal, and Jinsul is the only member with a fish assigned to her. This makes them feel very unique and special. But in particular, the reappearance of butterflies as a motive later on in the lore underlines Gowon's importance to the Loonaverse. This is probably also because of the butterfly effect, but I will talk about this in a later video. So the MV starts off with Gowon standing in a dark hallway, when all of the sudden light starts to appear, and she is standing under a chandelier. Still standing under the chandelier, she opens up what seems to be a window. This enlightens her. no pun intended. After this, though, we can see Gowon and some background dancers dancing as shadows, seemingly letting us know that while Gowon seeks the light, she still is unconsciously shrouded in darkness, making her vision of Eden blurry. This scene is mirroring a scene from the ending of the MV. In both instances her face is enveloped in light. It kind of is a full circle moment. In the beginning she seeks the light, but is scared of what it might uncover. But in the end she accepts her fate and lets light into her life. We can see red daisy flowers in the back. They are typically a symbol for love and passion, but also for motherhood and new beginnings. They are also a really common type of flower that can grow almost anywhere, and they grow all year long. It is also said that their name originates from day's eye, since daisies open with the first sunlight and then close again when the sun sets. This to me feels like an interesting parallel to Gowon, since we can see a lot of scenes with her being in shadows and engulfed in light, as well as closing and opening her eyes. It also clashes well with the other scenes, which are mostly in desaturated colors and feature no plant life, besides the tree branches, but they also don't have any leaves on them, so yeah. This scene looks like Gowon is reaching out for help, maybe even unconsciously, but someone notices her, since when she opens her eyes again, there is a butterfly sitting on her hand. These are also featured on the daisies wall, symbolizing love, freedom and joy, but also blue emperor butterflies are a symbol for change or a good fortune. So this butterfly tries to give Gowon hope for the future while being able to relate to her struggles, since they are called emperor butterflies for a reason, you know? Now all of a sudden the window in the back of the hallway is opened and enlights the hallway as well as Gowon. A door is opened and lets in even more light, probably symbolizing Cherry entering Eden, since in the next scene we can see her upside down holding an apple. Maybe Yves in her MV gave the apple to Cherry so that she can now give it to Gowon, which then opens her eyes to the horrors of Eden. Also notice Yves and Chuu stalking Gowon in this scene, probably waiting for Cherry to give Gowon the apple, and also notice the big AF crystal brooch Cherry wears, again showing us a connection of Cherry and crystals. Gowon turns around and Cherry wants to give her the apple. Gowon's reaction kind of looks like BB's reaction in the new MV. This realization might be a symbol for them opening their eyes. This could also explain why Gowon is running away in the scene after this. She might have seen the evil side of Eden now, but she is still too scared of her responsibilities, so that she tries to run away from Yves and Chuu. Also, unlike with BB, we don't get to see Gowon's eyes, so we don't get to see the same thing that Gowon gets to see in this MV. This symbolically lets us know that whatever made Gowon so shocked, well, we didn't get to see it. Also underlined by the lyrics, with the eyes closed, and this hallway scene being darker again, making us almost unable to see half of the screen. Also, the lyrics could be interpreted in a way in which this is a reference to Hyunjin, with the eyes closed, when the lips pout and kiss me. When I open my eyes, I face my true self at this shining moment. Hyunjin had to kiss the frog in her MV, right? And I established that Hyunjin kissing the frog and sinning is a reference to eating your assigned fruit and, well, sinning. So only after Hyunjin gave in and sinned by kissing the frog did she exit Eden and got to meet her true self. Probably also a reference to the mirror members. And I would say that this member could be Cherry, but more on that in another video. When Gowon sings "When I Open My Eyes", we see her right eye illuminated by light. While this could be an odd eye reference, I feel like this is more so Gowon hiding in the dark and someone opening the door to look for her. Since we can see someone standing in front of the door with long opened hair, I feel like this might be Cherry. Now she's crawling away and then hides under a table, while the other members keep on looking for her. The door is closed again, maybe symbolizing how Gowon isn't ready yet to be enlightened. Maybe ignorance is bliss. And maybe Cherry noticed that Gowon isn't ready, which is why she is not seen in the MV after this. Not even in the scene where they all sit together and eat their fruits. I feel like this is the moment Cherry realizes that Gowon isn't yet confident enough and needs her mirror members' help, instead of Cherry's help or Chuu and Yves' help. Now that she is sitting all alone, she is embracing herself since there is no one there to comfort her. Her brooch has a little crown on it, but it is upside down, and it kind of looks like a pineapple. I also feel like the chandelier being lit up this time indicates to us that Gowon has opened her eyes at least somewhat. Like her realization after meeting Cherry is symbolized by the lights being on. It also is the first time that she looks up at the chandelier, like she can now actually see the danger she is in, while before she was oblivious to it. Kind of like a Damocles sword reference. This scene of Gowon looking at her shadow, to me feels a lot like Cherry's scene in Love Cherry Motion and also in Sweet Crazy Love. Maybe Gowon is looking into the mirror and at the shadow to communicate with her other half, her mirror member, this being Hyunjin. Also notice how the background of the mirror scene is all in black. To me this feels like she might be communicating through Middle-earth, the blank void space, since if this would show Gowon's reflection in Eden, then why is there nothing around her and it's pitch black? In this scene in particular, you can see that the chandelier above her head makes it look like a crown. And after this, the shadow puts a crown on her head, while Gowon doesn't have a crown in her hands. This to me feels like a conversation between Gowon and Hyunjin. Hyunjin, who already took on responsibilities by joining 1/3, explains to Gowon the importance of joining her members. She wants to encourage her and give her hope, but also let her know that taking responsibilities and exiting Eden is the only way they will ever free themselves from Eden's rules. I mean, even the lyrics try to hint at this fact. She looks into the mirror, being fallen into a weird world. Even if you tell me so, I'm fine. Gowon explains to Hyunjin how even if she talks badly about Eden, Gowon sees it differently. She doesn't want to believe it. She doesn't want to admit to Hyunjin that she isn't feeling fine. She tells herself into the mirror that she is fine. To me, this seems like she is just hoping for things to become better in the future without her working for it, because then you can't really fail because you never tried in the first place. I'm the leading role then, while she puts on the crown. I don't need no Garden of Eden. The time in my hands mean that I'm already in heaven. Now, if you use headphones, you can hear the vocals going from one ear and then to the other, also underlining this to be a conversation of two people. The feeling that any dream could come true, while Gowon is holding hands with her shadow, like Cherry in Sweet Crazy Love. It's been spread in my life, spread by Hyunjin, who we can see in the form of a cat. The secret door to happiness, that door has opened, baby. Hyunjin runs away and Gowon seemingly follows her. To me, it seems like the shadow is running through the now opened door to happiness that has been opened. Maybe Hyunjin leads Gowon to freedom, to Earth maybe. So basically Gowon is scared of change. Hyunjin then comforts her and tells her that she has to help the other members and that she needs to lead them to exit Eden. That she plain right doesn't need no Garden of Eden, but Gowon tells her that she already is in heaven because she has a lot of time in her hands. I feel like this might be a hint at the fact that time works differently in Eden. Maybe you have almost eternal life there, which makes it so appealing to some that they believe that they're already in heaven, you know? But Hyunjin doesn't let loose, because she spreads the idea of freedom and of happiness in her mind. She opens her the door to freedom. She tells her to come to Earth. There they can live together in freedom and harmony. She shows her the way out of Eden and makes her believe in herself. She now doesn't need to hope for a better future anymore, because she can be the one to create this better future for herself. But she isn't quite there yet. She runs away even when she was so close to escaping Eden by eating her assigned fruit. Now she's running away from Yves and Chuu again. And there being more light in this scene and Chuu and Yves standing behind her, not even hiding anymore, to me also feels like she is beginning to clear her cloudy vision of her life in Eden, since now she is able to see them clearly watching her. She is being cornered by the other members and seems scared when she starts to remember Hyunjin's words of affirmation. She thinks about her struggles in Eden and realizes that she is not feeling fine. Now Gowon has a blanket or veil over her body. Well, this could be a reference to a bride's wedding veil, which symbolizes the modesty and purity of the bride. I feel like this does take on another role for Gowon. While in Eden's eyes she is still pure, she actually is stained with the thought of liberation, symbolized by the red veil. And well, a white dress symbolizes innocence and purity, so a red dress was stained. In Gowon's case, it was stained with impure thoughts in the eyes of Eden, since Gowon, after talking to Hyunjin, now thinks about how her future could look like if only she would exit Eden and live in freedom. At the same time though, the veil is making Gowon look like a cocoon. She is growing, outgrowing herself like a caterpillar that sheds its old skin and becomes something entirely new. She is sick and tired of being scared and powerless to change anything, so she wants to become her own white knight, saving herself and her members, exiting Eden and finally being able to change her life to the better. Now that she got some time to think about her decision, she comes back to the table and she looks determined. We can see the chandelier having 3 light bulbs, but after Gowon partakes in the fruit, it becomes 4 light bulbs. While this could of course just be a mistake, since the chandelier moved, I feel like this could be part of the lore. So we know that Yves and Chuu both ate their fruits, and now Gowon. This makes 3. So there needs to be someone that even before Yves and Chuu ate their assigned fruit and sinned in the eyes of Eden. This could also explain why Yves knows so much about the fruits, and that all of the members have to find their own assigned fruit to open their eyes and to exit Eden, and so on and so forth. And I have been saying that Bibi was trapped in Eden, as well as Jinsul. Now Bibi, at least from what we know, never partook in the fruit before exiting Eden, which is the reason why I think that she got separated from her body, and then became an android on Earth. But what about Jinsul? Well, I think Jinsul was the first person to partake in the fruit. There are cherries on the table, and yeah, Cherry appears in her MV with cherries. And she even appears in this MV, but who gave Cherry the forbidden fruit and made her travel to Middle-earth? Well, that was Jinsul. And who gave Olivia Hye her forbidden fruit and eats cherries in the Egoist MV? Jinsul. And in the Egoist MV she has a sign written in Chinese behind her saying Fallen Angel. So personally I believe that Jinsul found the fruits because of her special connection to Middle-earth, since she has other circle powers, you know. And when she ate this fruit, it was her first time traveling to Middle-earth, which we can see in Singing in the Rain. Then she went back and wanted her friend, Bibi, to see this whole new world as well. I think Jinsul found a way to travel from Middle-earth to Earth because she has other circle powers. And in her MV, we can see her taking a fish and putting it into a whole new world. And so I think that she took Bibi to Middle-earth with the cherries. But what she didn't know at the time was that you need to find your own forbidden fruit to exit Eden for good. So Jinsul ended up on Earth, other circle powers, remember? And Bibi was eventually found by Hassel and ended up on Earth as a soul being separated from her body. There then Jinsul built her an android body that she can inhabit, but this made Bibi lose her memories. Having already caused enough harm, Jinsul left Bibi with Hassel on Earth and swore to find a way to help the other YYY members exit Eden, but in a more humane way. Something like this. I didn't mention it this far, but the pineapple being Gowon's assigned fruit to me has a lot of symbolism. For once it looks like it has a crown, and the green part of the pineapple is also called a crown. So the pineapple, just like Gowon, naturally has a crown on its head. Also, a pineapple is a fake apple. It has nothing to do with apples and isn't even part of the rose fruit family. But Gowon isn't a real apple either. She is the X in YYXY. She is not really a true Y. She is an X. Just like the pineapple isn't really a true apple. She eats her representative fruit, which is the pineapple. Even though this does not make her travel through realms, it seemingly awakens something in her. She lifts her veil, symbolical for her coming out of her cocoon and revealing her new self. All of a sudden she has blonde hair, just like the other circle members, and she fully opens her eyes this time, symbolized by the close-up of her opening her eye. Now she even straight up looks at us. Another really small but effective detail is the fact that Gowon holds the knife in her right hand before eating her fruit, but then it changes to her left hand. This may indicate to us that Gowon is actually left-handed. Why then does she not use her left hand before eating the fruit? Well, Eden is obsessed with perfection, right? And in the past, left-handed people were forced to use their right hands because some Christians believed that left-handed people are disciples of the devil. So Eden would naturally forbid any type of alternation to the God-given norm, since they want the girls to be perfection. So Gowon was probably forbid to use her left hand, and now that she is free from Eden, at least in her mind, she now uses her left hand as a sign of rebellion. Or maybe she was sent by the devil, who knows. Now we can see Yves and Chuu also partaking in the fruit, an apple and a strawberry. It also is quite interesting how Chuu is looking at Yves, since she is, you know, in love with her, and then Yves is looking at Gowon, but Gowon looks straight at us. And who would be sitting in this place? The third Y member of YYXY. So Gowon is looking out for Olivia Hye, like we can see in the Love4eva MV. Also, if you would draw lines in the directions they are looking at, this would create the number 4, and there are 4 members in YYXY. Yves brings Gowon a crown with Eden green crystals and crowns her. Like I said before, sometimes a crown is a burden and symbolizes responsibilities rather than it being a celebration. And in this case, I feel like it could be both. Gowon takes on the role of the leader and becomes part of Yves' plan to exit Eden. While this means that Gowon can escape and live a better life together with her members in the future, it also is inherently dangerous for her to be part of this plan. What if Eden finds out about this? What if it doesn't really work out? Yves is putting responsibilities on Gowon that scare her, which is why she comforts her with a smile and a hug. But in the end, Gowon does seem to believe in their cause, since she starts to smile as well. While before Gowon was dancing together with shadows, now that she has gotten to know and accept herself, as well as accepting her role and her responsibilities, this scene is enlightened. We see Gowon in a bright dress with dancers, and it also doesn't look as claustrophobic anymore. Also notice these stones on her shirt, Eden green for Gowon, then what could be either blue or purple, but I'm guessing purple for Cherry, and then yellow for Hyunjin. In Loona TV episode 275, we can see Gowon in the white dress from the MV, and what we couldn't quite see in the MV were the crystals on her dress. Again, now we can see the green crystal symbolizing Gowon, then a blue crystal, and a purple plus yellow crystal, symbolizing Jinsol, Cherry, and Hyunjin. Now they all run together in their uniforms and smile. Gowon seems a lot more confident now and seemingly is friends with the other members, instead of being scared of them. Now that she has eaten her fruit, became her true self, and gained consciousness, she also wants to leave Eden. I don't really know if this has any significance, but here Gowon has black hair again. So was her hair turning blonde really just a metaphor for her being enlightened? I feel like since in the Love4eva MV she has blonde hair, maybe her black hair was just a front. I mean, in Eden everyone is supposed to be perfect. What if in Eden's eyes dark hair is natural and blonde hair isn't? Yves, Chuu, and Olivia Hye have dark hair. So maybe while Gowon has natural blonde hair in Eden, she sees herself as one and the same with the other members, trying to fit in and to be perfect like them. So she just imagines herself with black hair, but I don't know. In Chuu's post-credit scene we get to see Hasul, and in this one, in the post-credit scene of this MV, we get to see a shadow leaving the room. Could this indicate to us that Hyunjin really was physically in Eden? Or is this maybe just a hint at Olivia Hye? I don't know. In the end, I feel like Cherry gave the apple to Gowon, who then ate the fruit, and like Chuu, who opened her eyes only a little bit after eating the apple, Gowon is now self-aware and can see through the lies of Eden. This is why she looks so shocked and why she is so scared. Her whole life was basically flipped on its head. After Chuu ate the fruit, she met Hasul, her mirror member, and Gowon? Well, she meets Hyunjin in the shape of the mirror self, a shadow, and then even in physical form through the cat. I don't quite know though if this is literal or not. Like, is this supposed to show us that Hyunjin was there, or that she literally took the form of a cat to talk to Gowon? Well, but after this, Gowon is not only enlightened through the fruit, but also hopeful for her future, since Hyunjin assists her with these uncomfortable new truths. This is also symbolized by her sitting down at the table. Now her enlightenment is shown through the lit up chandelier. And now that Hyunjin helped her to come to terms with her new self, she consents to eating the forbidden fruit. She puts a crown of enlightenment on her head. She eats the fruit of enlightenment and then she transforms like a butterfly. She felt like an insignificant little caterpillar, but then she meets herself through Hyunjin and gets to know her true self. This transformation is shown through these scenes, with her having a veil over her body, since it makes her look like a cocoon. Also a little bit like a ghost. However, then she emerges from the cocoon as a beautiful, enlightened creature that captures everyone's attention, as a blue monarch butterfly. We can see this transformation of being scared to being courageous in the overall style the MV was filmed in. While in the beginning there are a lot of close-up scenes in dark places, at the end there are a lot of zoomed out scenes with bright lighting. The viewer in the beginning gets a feeling of claustrophobia, and you just feel on edge. But after she eats her fruit, this changes. We get these big, beautiful environmental scenes with the dancers, and even when close-ups are shown, everyone starts to smile and look really bright. This really was one of the most difficult MVs for me to analyze, but I'm really happy with how this theory turned out to be. If you liked the video, you can like and subscribe, and I'm really excited for next week when we cover Olivia Hye's MV. So stay tuned and see you next time.